buscando ese balón, reclamaban fuera de juego, pero Xavi controla la pelota, remate acrobático, ¡golazo! ¡Golazo! ¡Qué golazo! ¡Qué golazo acaba de marcar Ronaldinho para el Fútbol Club Barcelona!
His name was Ronaldo de Assis Moreira, but the world knew him as Ronaldinho. He didn't just play football, he turned it into joy, the last true magician, bringing the soul of Brazil's favelas to Europe's biggest stages. Defenders, hardened professionals, would turn into confused kids in a heartbeat, never sure where the ball had gone. People will argue about Messi and Ronaldo, but this is what made him different. Others mastered football. Ronaldinho played it. When everything was on the line, he still treated it like a game. For him, the pitch wasn't a workplace, it was a place for self-expression. To understand how he became who he was, we have to go back to where it all began, the concrete blocks and dusty streets of Porto Alegre. Ronaldinho was born on March 21, 1980, into a family where football was a religion. His father, João, worked as a welder at a shipyard, but as a young man, he played for an amateur club called Cruzeiro, not to be confused with the great club from Belo Horizonte. João was Ronaldinho's first coach and the first person to see the spark in him. The family lived poor in a neighborhood called Vila Nova, often described as a favela. But poverty in Brazil has its own rhythm. Ronaldinho was the youngest child, and he was always surrounded by balls, or whatever could replace them. When we didn't have a ball, we kicked socks rolled into a ball, he later recalled. It was there, on those tight streets, that his unique style was born. Unlike European academies, where children are taught passing patterns and positional discipline, the street teaches survival. There's no referee to whistle a foul, no perfect grass. It's cramped. To keep the ball in street football, you have to be smarter, quicker, and more technical than your opponent. You have to control the ball in a phone booth of space. That was the school of futsal. A smaller ball, a hard surface, insane tempo. Futsal gave Ronaldinho his famous soul control and the ability to make decisions in fractions of a second. But there was one more funny detail about his training. His dog, Bom Bom. Ronaldinho was so obsessed with football that when his friends got tired and went home, he kept playing with his dog. A dog is the best defender, he joked. It doesn't fall for feints, it just runs after the ball. To beat a dog, you really have to be fast and unpredictable. Maybe dribbling against Bom Bom taught him the movements that later would confuse Sergio Ramos and Paolo Maldini. When Ronaldinho was 8, his life split into before and after. His older brother, Roberto de Assis, was the family's great hope, talented enough to sign a professional contract with Grêmio. That salary changed everything. The family moved from a poor neighborhood to a better part of the city, into a house with a swimming pool. It felt like a fairy tale. Then, one night on the way home from their parents' anniversary party, João decided to swim in that very pool. He suffered a heart attack in the water and drowned. He was only 41. For 8-year-old Ronaldinho, it was a brutal shock. The man who told him, "You will be a world champion," was gone. From that moment on, Roberto stepped into the roles of father, mentor, and eventually agent. He vowed not to let his little brother's talent go to waste. He became demanding and tough, but always loving. Roberto's own career later ended with a knee injury, and he devoted himself completely to making Ronaldinho a star. "Every time I step onto the pitch, I play for my father," Ronaldinho said. The pain didn't break him, it gave him purpose. And somehow, it didn't steal his joy. He decided the best way to honor his father was to play the way his father loved, beautifully, joyfully, and with a smile. By the end of the 1990s, rumors about a boy magician from Grêmio's academy spread across Brazil. Youth coaches held their heads in disbelief. This kid did things that seemed physically impossible. A famous childhood story became a city legend. His team supposedly won 23-0, and Ronaldinho scored all 23 goals. In 1998, he debuted for Grêmio's senior team in the Copa Libertadores. But the real explosion came in 1999, the Rio Grande do Sul state final, Grêmio versus their bitter rivals Internacional. Internacional had Dunga, the captain who lifted the World Cup in 1994. A hard, uncompromising defensive midfielder everyone feared. And against this veteran came a 19-year-old kid. What happened next went down as the beating of a legend. Ronaldinho didn't just outplay Dunga, he humiliated him. In one moment, he popped the ball over the stunned champion's head, did an elastico-style motion in midair, and burst away. He scored the winning goal and brought Grêmio the title. The next day, all of Brazil knew. A new superstar had been born. After his breakthrough at Grêmio, Ronaldinho earned a call-up for Brazil's 1999 Copa America squad, a team that already had Rivaldo and Ronaldo. Ronaldinho was the teenage understudy. Against Venezuela, he came on in the second half. Brazil were already in control and the game was basically over, but Ronaldinho didn't care. He picked up the ball near the edge of the box, dinked it over one defender with a single touch, cushioned it on his knee, slipped past a second man with a body feint, and buried it low into the corner. The commentator lost it. "Oh la la, look at that, look at that." That goal became his calling card. Europe took notice immediately. Everyone could see it. This kid wouldn't stay in Brazil for long. The chase began. Arsenal, Manchester United, Real Madrid. Everyone wanted the next genius. But fate and his brother Roberto chose a different path. Instead of a giant, he picked an unexpected but strategically correct option, Paris Saint-Germain. In 2001, he arrived in Paris. His move to PSG was strange and scandalous. He left Grêmio for free through legal loopholes, which caused outrage in Brazil. But Paris looked like the perfect springboard, the city of lights, fashion, and nightlife. However, Ronaldinho quickly met a problem named Luis Fernandes. PSG's coach was a strict disciplined man. Football was work from start to finish. Tactics, regime, lights out at 10 p.m. For Ronaldinho, football was a celebration that started on the pitch and continued in nightclubs. He didn't hide his love for life. He could come home at dawn, sleep a couple of hours in the massage room, then show up to training and still be the best. It drove Fernandes insane. The coach benched him, fined him, criticized him publicly. But when Ronaldinho stepped on the pitch, the Parc des Princes went wild. In France, he sharpened the style that became his signature, humiliating opponents. Ligue 1 defenders were physical, athletic, and they simply didn't understand how to take the ball off him. He used tricks from beach football, flicked the ball over heads, nutmegged people for fun. Then came the 2002 World Cup in Japan and South Korea. The world got its first full look at Brazil's legendary trio, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho. And in the quarterfinal against England, Ronaldinho did something that still doesn't make sense. A free kick from 35 yards out. Everyone expected a cross. England's keeper, David Seaman, took a step off his line. Ronaldinho saw it and gently, as if he were placing it by hand, looped the ball over him and into the net. Brazil went on to win the tournament. Ronaldinho returned to Paris a global star, and suddenly, PSG felt too small for him. To understand his greatness, remember what Barcelona looked like in the summer of 2003. This wasn't the machine we think of today. The club was in a slump. 4 years without a trophy, 6th in the league. Fans whistled their own players, and there were empty seats at the Camp Nou. Meanwhile, Madrid was booming. The Galacticos, Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo. Madrid was Hollywood. Barcelona felt stuck in the shadows, drowning in break-in expectations. New president Joan Laporta had promised to bring in David Beckham, but Real Madrid snatched him. Laporta needed a miracle, and that miracle was Ronaldinho, signed from PSG for 30 million euros. No one knew it would become one of the best deals in the club's history. 25,000 people showed up for his unveiling. Ronaldinho juggled the ball and grinned. Years later, Xavi would say, "Ronaldinho didn't just change our history. Before him, we were a team that had forgotten how to win. With him, we believed we could." Ronaldinho's Camp Nou debut plays out like a movie scene. The match against Sevilla was scheduled for an absurd time, 12:05 a.m. After a dispute with the federation over national team call-ups, Barca decided to play it in the middle of the night. The club even handed out free gazpacho and hot chocolate, so fans wouldn't fall asleep. The game began in a slow haze. It was past midnight, but at around 1:30 a.m., Ronaldinho picked up the ball in his own half. What happened next is almost impossible to explain. He carried it 60 meters, sliced through two Sevilla midfielders like they weren't there, and then, from 25 meters out, unleashed a rocket. It kissed the crossbar and bounced in. The stadio erupted, so hard it felt like a seismograph should have registered it. That night, under the Catalan sky, a new era began, the era of the smile. 2003-04 season started badly but ended brilliantly. Barca finished second and Ronaldinho brought belief back. But the real peak was 2004-05. He stopped being just a player. He became a phenomenon. On paper, he played on the left, but in reality, he was everywhere. His connection with Samuel Eto'o and Ludovic Gulli felt almost telepathic. What made him different? He made hard things look easy, and impossible things look routine. Passes with his back turned, bicycle kicks like they were nothing, the elastico, the ball seeming glued to his foot, changing direction in an instant. Defenders stopped fearing the goal they might concede. They feared being humiliated, being turned into a clip, a punchline. His favorite weapon was the no-look pass. Eyes one way, ball the other, and suddenly an entire defense was chasing shadows. He brought the street football he'd played with Bom Bom onto the pristine Camp Nou turf. In 2005, he won the Ballon d'Or. It wasn't just a reward for numbers, it was a reward for art. In a world where football was becoming a business, Ronaldinho remained an artist. One of the most iconic moments of his genius came in the Champions League against Jose Mourinho's Chelsea. Chelsea versus Barcelona, a battle of systems and belief. But for him, it was still just a game. He gets the ball, and time slows down. The picture is ugly. Bodies everywhere, space nowhere. He buys a second, then another. Not with speed, with rhythm, a small dance, a search for the answer. And then, the ball is in the net. For a moment, almost no one understands what they've just seen. And the ones who do can't even speak. Because some beauty doesn't translate into words. A player who felt like he was made to teach people how to love football. Ahead of him was the ultimate test, the Santiago Bernabeu, enemy territory, where Barcelona players are treated like public enemy number one. Real Madrid versus Barcelona is more than football. It's El Clasico, a clash of politics, regions, and pride. The Bernabeu doesn't forgive. They'll boo their own players if they're not good enough. And an opponent in Blaugrana, they're not supposed to applaud you, ever. Real Madrid stars were all there. Zidane, Ronaldo, Beckham, Raúl, Roberto Carlos, and a young Sergio Ramos. But the night turned into a one-man show. Ronaldinho torched Ramos down the left like he was a training cone, cut into the box, feinted Helguera, and finished past Casillas. Then he did it again. Same flank, same Ramos, same result. Another shot into the corner, 3-0. And then something unbelievable happened. One Real Madrid fan stood up and applauded, then another, and soon the entire stadium, 80,000 Madrid supporters, were on their feet, clapping for a Barcelona player. Before that, only one man had received that honor, Diego Maradona, in 1983. Ronaldinho looked up and smiled. In that moment, he wasn't just the best player in the world. He was football itself, uniting enemies through beauty. 2005-06 season became his final mountain. He had the Ballon d'Or, but he still lacked the one club prize that defined greatness, the Champions League. Barca marched to the final like a juggernaut. In the semi-final against Milan, it came down to one moment, one genius pass from Ronaldinho to Juli. And in the final in Paris, the city he'd left 3 years earlier, Barcelona beat Arsenal. At 26, Ronaldinho had won everything: the World Cup, Copa America, La Liga, the Champions League, the Ballon d'Or. He'd done it all, and paradoxically, that was the beginning of the end. Before we talk about the decline, we have to mention what might be Ronaldinho's most important legacy at Barcelona, Lionel Messi. In football, stars can be jealous of young talent. They see a prodigy and feel a threat. But Ronaldinho was different. When a shy 16-year-old from Argentina walked into the dressing room, Ronaldinho took him under his wing. He sat Leo next to him, called him his little brother, and told everyone, "This kid will be better than me." Ronaldinho even set up Messi's first goal for Barca, and Messi celebrated on Ronaldinho's back. It felt like a crown being passed, and maybe the biggest gift Ronaldinho gave him wasn't a pass. It was a philosophy: don't play under pressure, play with joy. Because without Ronaldinho's smile and lightness, we might not have the Messi we know today. The summer of 2006 was supposed to be Brazil's triumph. They had a dream team, the Magic Square: Ronaldo, Adriano, Kaká, Ronaldinho. On paper, it was unfair. The odds made Brazil overwhelming favorites. But at the World Cup in Germany, something felt off. Ronaldinho looked tired, distant. The magic wasn't there. In the quarterfinal against France, Brazil ran into another genius, Zinedine Zidane, who played one of the greatest matches of his international career. Brazil went out, and back home, the backlash was brutal. Some fans even burned an effigy of Ronaldinho. After 2006, he came back different. He could still produce masterpieces: an overhead kick against Villarreal, that low free kick under the wall against Werder, another little invention. But the consistency was gone. The problem wasn't his legs, it was his head. He'd achieved everything too fast. The hunger faded. You could almost hear the question behind it. Why train until you collapse if you've already reached the top? And little by little, the routine slipped. Parties got longer. Training got shorter. He gained weight. The photos started to circulate. The club tried to hide it behind injuries, but everyone could see the truth. Ronaldinho was tired of being a 24/7 professional. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to live. In 2008, Barcelona was in crisis again. The team was splintering, the standards were slipping, and the board made a risky call. They handed the job to an inexperienced Pep Guardiola. Pep walked into the dressing room, took one look around, and saw Deco and Ronaldinho, the two biggest personalities in the room, the old power center, and in his eyes, the wrong example for a young Lionel Messi. Guardiola was obsessed with routine, with discipline, with control. He understood one thing: if Barcelona were going to become great again, if the team was going to be built around Messi, then the old era had to end. From day one, Pep made it clear: Ronaldinho had to go. It was a shock to push out a Ballon d'Or winner, an idol to millions, but Guardiola didn't blink. The era of magic was over. The era of the system was beginning. Ronaldinho didn't fight it. He didn't turn it into a scandal. He understood his time in Barcelona was done. He wrote a heartfelt farewell to the fans and left for Milan, wearing the same smile he arrived with. In Italy, wearing Milan's red and black, Ronaldinho didn't stop being a genius. He just became a genius in flashes. Serie A league built on tactics and defense, wasn't kind to an aging artist. But the magic didn't vanish. San Siro still saw masterpieces: derby goals against Inter, absurd assists. Fans adored him. The only motivation he had left was the World Cup. In Germany in 2006, he'd been poor, and 4 years later, he wanted redemption. He trained, he responded, he forced his name back into the conversation. He led Serie A in assists with 15 and added 12 goals. But Brazil's coach was Dunga. Whether he remembered the feints with which young Rony had humiliated him or not, Ronaldinho did not make the World Cup squad. In the end, everyone lost. Pragmatic Brazil went out again in the quarterfinals. Brazil lost a weapon, and the tournament lost a little magic. And it felt like football was watching the curtain fall on a beautiful era. Ronaldinho's best nights were behind him. Coaches, first Ancelotti, then Allegri, were going crazy. Ronaldinho might miss training with a sore throat and then be spotted that same evening, playing bongo drums at a samba concert. By 2010, it was clear the European chapter was closing. He was only 30, prime age for many, but he'd been living at the top level since 17. His professional athlete battery was running low, even if the desire to play never left. In 2011, Brazil held its breath. Ronaldinho was coming home. Everyone wanted him, but he chose Flamengo, the most popular club in the country. His presentation drew more people than Brazilian league matches. However, the real renaissance happened not in Rio, but in Belo Horizonte. at Atletico Mineiro. It was there, in 2013, that Ronaldinho pulled off his last great feat. The club had never won the Copa Libertadores. Ronaldinho, wearing the captain's armband, led the team. He was enjoying football again, spraying remote control passes, scoring free kicks, smiling. In the final, Atletico won on penalties. Ronaldinho entered the elite club of the chosen. He won the World Cup, Copa America, the Champions League, the Ballon d'Or, and the Copa Libertadores. He won absolutely everything that could be won in world football. The circle closed. There were also brief stops in Mexico, where he once again earned standing ovations in an away stadium, and later at Fluminense. But by then, it wasn't really about football anymore. Those were rock star tours, a farewell lap. In 2018, Ronaldinho officially announced his retirement, and the football world collectively exhaled with sadness. It felt like the last player for whom beauty mattered more than results was gone. But you already know, Ronaldinho's story was never going to end with a simple press conference. In 2020, something happened that felt like a dark comedy. Ronaldinho and his brother Roberto traveled to Paraguay for a charity event. At the border, they presented Paraguayan passports. The problem was simple. The passports were fake, and not even good fakes. Badly made, laughably so. Why a Brazilian, who doesn't even need a visa to enter Paraguay, would carry a fake passport is a mystery no one has fully explained to this day. They were arrested and sent to a high-security jail in Asunción. The world couldn't believe it. A Ballon d'Or winner behind bars. But what did Ronaldinho do? Did he collapse? Did he fall into despair? No, he played football. The prison organized a futsal tournament, and teams of inmates were desperate to have Dinho on their side. He ended up playing the final. The result? An 11-2 win. Ronaldinho scored 5 goals and assisted 6 more. The prize for the winning team, 16 kilograms of smoked pork. A photo of Ronaldinho with that unlikely trophy traveled around the world. Even in prison, surrounded by guards and criminals, he was still himself. He just wanted to play and smile. One inmate later said, "In that moment, when he played with us, we forgot we were in prison. We felt free." If you look at the numbers today, Ronaldinho doesn't win the argument. Messi and Ronaldo scored more, won more trophies, stayed on top longer. But football isn't an Excel spreadsheet. Football is emotion. Lionel Messi inspires awe. Cristiano Ronaldo inspires respect. But Ronaldinho sparked something else. Pure, childlike joy. He showed us that you could be the best in the world without turning into a machine. That you could win finals and still play for the sheer pleasure of it. He was the bridge between street football, full of feints and imagination, and the modern, billion-dollar game. His legacy isn't trophies in a cabinet. His legacy is a generation of kids who ran into the yard and tried the elastico, usually breaking at least one vase along the way. His legacy is a smile that reminded us of one simple truth. No matter how much money surrounds it, at its heart, football is still just a game. Ronaldinho Gaucho left the pitch, but the magic he gave the world will stay forever. You are watching Football Frenzy. If you love the game, subscribe and keep playing.